Have you ever felt that there is more to life than what can be seen with the eyes? Your first awakening opened your eyes to your spiritual nature, freeing you from the ego and shifting you from an automatic way of living to a conscious state of being. Now it is time to go deeper. Your second awakening is a profound transformation in which every thought, feeling, and action becomes illuminated with an intensity you have never known before. You begin to recognize how often you have lived on autopilot, letting habits and routines dictate your actions. Now you seize every moment with intention. Your interactions become more meaningful as you truly listen, engage, and see others with newfound clarity. This is not just a mental shift, it is a metamorphosis of your entire being. Your decisions become conscious, infused with the power of deliberate choice. You are no longer a passive observer but an active creator of your reality. This transformation elevates you into a higher vibrational existence, where life unfolds with extraordinary depth and fulfillment. The first sign of your second awakening is the recognition of your vibrational reality. You become aware that every thought, feeling, and action emits a frequency that shapes the world around you. Imagine moving through your day without trying to control every outcome, but instead embodying the experiences you wish to have. Your morning routine becomes a sacred ritual, every action intentional and aligned with your higher self. You are not just making coffee, you infuse each cup with your intentions, turning an ordinary act into a powerful manifestation tool. As you shift from controlling to embodying, you notice the world around you changing. New people enter your life, bringing opportunities aligned with your elevated state. Abundance flows effortlessly, not because you chased it, but because your vibration attracted it. Your reality becomes a mirror of your inner state, reflecting the harmony and abundance you cultivate within. This awareness transforms your interactions, making every moment an opportunity to manifest your desires. Your life becomes a symphony of high-frequency vibrations, attracting everything you need to thrive. This is the essence of living in a higher vibrational reality, where your inner state shapes your outer world with precision and grace. The second sign of your second awakening is the realization that attracting better things is not about thinking more but about embodying higher vibrations. You were taught to strategize and overanalyze, believing that more thinking leads to more success. Yet true awakening happens when you shift from thinking to feeling and begin to embody the higher frequencies you wish to attract. Consider your daily interactions. Instead of carefully planning every conversation or action, you begin to act from a place of intuitive flow. You walk into meetings with calm confidence, radiating a frequency that effortlessly attracts respect and cooperation. You are not merely participating, you are leading with an invisible force, your vibrational energy. New insights flood your awareness like rays of light piercing through fog. You understand that your worth is not tied to constant mental activity but to the purity of your vibration. Your relationships transform as you attract people who resonate with your higher state. Opportunities arise effortlessly, as though the universe is aligning itself with your elevated frequency. Your days become filled with synchronicities, each moment a testament to your new clarity and the power of thinking less and being more. This is the magic of your second awakening. The third sign of your second awakening is the experience of a perception filter upgrade, where your awareness sharpens and the ordinary becomes magical. You begin to see the world with heightened clarity, colors appear more vibrant, and every moment feels deeply significant. Look at your daily life. When you watch a sunset, you no longer see a fading light but a symphony of colors that touches your soul and fills you with awe and connection. As you walk through a park, the delicate details of a leaf capture your attention, revealing a hidden universe within its veins. These everyday experiences transform into powerful moments of revelation, grounding you in the beauty of the present moment. This heightened perception does not just mean seeing more, it means feeling deeper. Your senses tune to the subtleties of life, allowing you to connect with the world on a profound level. In recognizing this, you begin to integrate and transcend the spiritual ego. You learn that true awakening is not about comparing yourself to others or feeling superior, but about deepening your connection to humility and compassion. It is about seeing each person's unique path with respect and love, without measuring your own against it. This awareness dissolves illusions of superiority and brings you back to the essence of your spiritual journey, unity and love. In this stage, you shed the layers of ego disguised as spirituality and embrace the simplicity and authenticity of true enlightenment. Your actions become more genuine, your interactions more compassionate, and your spiritual practice more grounded. This is the gentle yet powerful transformation of integrating and transcending the spiritual ego, a crucial sign of your second awakening. The fifth sign of your second awakening is the profound shift from having and doing to being. Society constantly urges you to acquire more and do more, measuring success by possessions and busyness. This endless chase is exhausting and ultimately unfulfilling. You begin to realize that true fulfillment arises from presence, from allowing yourself to simply exist in the moment. The traditional focus on accumulating wealth, recognition, and experiences loses its appeal. Instead, you begin to appreciate the quiet power of presence. During your daily commute, instead of worrying about your to-do list, you find peace in the silent moments, feeling your breath move through your body and deeply connecting with the now. In this elevated state of being, you allow divine energy to flow through you. It is no longer about controlling every aspect of your life but about surrendering to the present moment. This shift transforms your relationships, making them more genuine and heartfelt. Your work becomes a joyful expression of your true self, not just a means to an end. This transition from having and doing to being marks a significant evolution in your consciousness. It frees you from the chains of societal expectations and immerses you in the profound beauty of pure existence. Here lies true peace, where you discover the boundless joy of existing in harmony with the universe. The sixth sign of your second awakening is the spontaneous release of long-suppressed emotions. You may suddenly find yourself crying, laughing, or experiencing waves of intense feelings that appear without warning. These moments are not random, they are profound signals of your healing process. Imagine hearing a familiar song or visiting a place from your past. Suddenly tears begin to flow, or you burst into uncontrollable laughter. This is your soul cleansing itself, releasing stored energy and unresolved emotions buried deep within. Your body frees itself from the emotional chains that have long weighed you down. As these emotions surface, you heal old traumas and unresolved issues, transforming pain into peace. This release can be triggered by the simplest things: a conversation with a friend, a quiet moment alone, or even while washing dishes. Each release brings a wave of relief and clarity, allowing you to move forward unburdened. This emotional release is not just cathartic, it is an essential process of shedding old layers, enabling you to embrace a lighter, more authentic version of yourself. You are not merely experiencing these emotional waves passively, you are actively participating in your own healing. By allowing these emotions to flow freely, you honor your past and pave the way for a future filled with deeper joy and freedom. This is the power and beauty of emotional release and healing in your second awakening. The seventh sign of your second awakening is the dissolution of old identities. You begin shedding former roles and labels, feeling increasingly detached from earlier versions of yourself. This transformative process is not just change, it is a radical shift in how you perceive and define your essence. Look at your daily interactions. You may notice that titles and labels that once felt important now seem hollow. The roles you played in your career, family, or social circles no longer define you. Instead, you embrace a fluid, evolving identity that is not confined by societal expectations or past achievements. This fluidity allows you to move through life with greater freedom and authenticity. Hypatia of Alexandria, a philosopher and mathematician, remained devoted to her intellectual pursuits despite societal pressures, leaving a lasting legacy in science and philosophy. As a pioneering scholar, she excelled in mathematics, astronomy, and philosophy, teaching and writing at a time when such roles for women were rare. Her dedication to knowledge and reason made her a respected figure in Alexandria's intellectual circles. Despite fierce opposition and her eventual martyrdom, Hypatia's contributions influenced scientific and philosophical thought for centuries. Her life stands as a testament to the enduring power of intellectual integrity and courage. Like Hypatia, you now step into a space where your true self can flourish, free from outdated labels. In this state, you become a living testament to the power of transformation. Your sense of self is no longer tied to static definitions but becomes a dynamic, evolving force. This liberation from old identities allows you to connect more deeply with your true purpose and passions. Each day, you awaken not as a fixed character but as an ever-evolving being, ready to discover new aspects of yourself. That is the power of dissolving old identities, a vital step in your second awakening. The eighth sign of your second awakening is the emergence of intuitive flashes, moments when deep clarity and insight strike you out of nowhere. You begin to trust your gut feelings more than ever, moving through life guided by an inner compass that seems infallible. Think of those moments when you make spontaneous decisions that turn out perfectly. You decide on a whim to take a trip, and it leads to profound personal growth by exposing you to new cultures, ideas, and connections that enrich your life in unexpected ways. Your intuition becomes your most trusted guide, leading you toward opportunities and experiences aligned with your true self. The ninth sign of your second awakening is the recognition of the material illusion, where the pursuit of possessions loses its appeal. You begin to see through the illusion that things can bring lasting satisfaction and instead find true joy in experiences and relationships. Consider your daily choices. You may decide to spend money on an unforgettable journey with loved ones instead of the latest gadget. This shift reveals a profound change in what you value, as you place the richness of shared moments above the fleeting thrill of new things. You begin to appreciate the laughter around a campfire, the deep conversations during a long drive, and the bond strengthened through shared adventures. From a young age, you probably felt an inner knowing that set you apart from the people around you. It wasn't something you could always explain, but it was there, subtly reminding you that your path was meant to be different. Perhaps you struggled to fit into the conventional patterns of society, sensing a deeper purpose that you couldn't quite put into words. As you grew older, that feeling of restlessness may have intensified. You might have constantly searched for meaning in places others overlooked and questioned norms that most accepted without hesitation. It was as if your soul was seeking a deeper truth, driving you towards something greater, something aligned with your true essence. Freedom from illusions. When you came to this realization, the darkness that once dimmed your light began to fade. The limiting beliefs, social expectations, and self-doubt that once clouded your vision started to dissolve. The illusions that had kept you trapped in a smaller version of yourself no longer held the same power, allowing you to see the world, and yourself, with renewed clarity. This clarity caused the chains that had long restrained you to break. The false rules and expectations that had kept you small and made you question your potential began to dissolve. You realized that many of the limitations you had accepted were never truly real but mere constructs of a world that could not comprehend your full strength. With the collapse of these walls of restriction, you understood that the only thing holding you back was your own acceptance of those illusions. As they fell, so did the barriers that once confined you. You began to move freely in a world that no longer had the power to limit your brilliance, opening yourself to new possibilities and a grander vision of your life. Claiming your authenticity and power. In this newfound freedom, you stopped asking for permission to shine. The days of seeking validation from others or waiting for approval to be your authentic self were over. You began to trust your inner knowing and took full responsibility for stepping into your power, aware that it had always rightfully belonged to you. On this path, you rose above the need to conform to society's standards. You were no longer concerned with fitting in or meeting expectations that did not align with your truth. You realized that true fulfillment comes from living in harmony with who you are at your core, not by following external measures of success or recognition. Through this transformation, you embraced your role as a creator and leader. You no longer followed the well-trodden paths laid out by others but began to carve your own. You understood that your journey was unique and that your authenticity was exactly what the world needed. As you walked this new path, you became a beacon for others who were also ready to step into their own power. Breaking old systems of control. As you rose into your authentic self, you could no longer tolerate the old systems that once controlled you. The outdated structures, beliefs, and social norms designed to limit your expression and confine your spirit lost their influence over you. You saw through the illusions that sustained them and rejected their authority over your life. Your very presence, your voice, and your actions began to shake the foundations of these systems. Where you once might have remained silent or compliant, you now spoke and acted with clarity and confidence, challenging the status quo. The more you embodied your truth, the more the world around you began to shift, as if recognizing that the old ways could no longer contain the rising tide of authenticity. By choosing to stand in your power, you disrupted the stagnation that had long defined these systems. Your courage to live and speak your truth became a catalyst for transformation, inspiring others to do the same. As your actions rippled outward, the world had no choice but to acknowledge the forces of change you had unleashed, ushering in a new era of freedom and self-expression. Your authenticity has the power to unsettle those who still hide behind their masks. When you show up as your true self, it can spark fear in the hearts of those whose lives are built on illusion and falsehood. They may feel exposed by your honesty, and in their discomfort, they might try to push you back, criticize you, or even reject you. But what they truly fear is the truth you embody, for it reminds them of the lies they continue to live in. As you continue to stand firmly in your truth, you may encounter resistance from those unwilling to face the reality of their own lives. They may project their fears onto you, trying to make you doubt yourself, your path, or your worth. This resistance often comes from a place of fear, fear of change, fear of the unknown, and fear of losing the comfort of their illusions. But remember, their resistance is not a reflection of your journey, it merely mirrors their inner struggle. It's important that you keep moving forward without being swayed by their fears or judgments. Their opinions, no matter how loud, have no power to derail your path unless you allow them to. Continue walking in your authenticity, knowing that you are on a path they may not yet understand. In time, some will come to see the truth you have always known, but even if they don't, your progress will not be halted by their inability to see. As you fully step into your divine purpose, you will find yourself uncovering truth and dismantling the illusions that have kept others bound. You have become a force of authenticity, no longer willing to participate in systems or beliefs built on falsehoods. In doing so, you become a guiding light for those ready to awaken to their own truth, illuminating the illusions they once clung to. It's fascinating how the tables turn. Those who once doubted or ridiculed you may now be drawn to your truth. They may seek your guidance, realizing that what they once dismissed was actually what they needed all along. Your strength in living your truth becomes undeniable, and as you rise, you inspire others to do the same, to break free from structures that no longer serve them. And as you ascend, you will witness the old control systems begin to crumble at your feet. The lies that once held power over others lose their grip as more people awaken to the reality you have always lived. This isn't just about destroying the old, it's about building something real, something lasting, aligned with the highest truth. In the process of growing into your true self, you transcend the limitations others once tried to impose on you. Every attempt to hold you back or dim your light only fueled your strength. Every challenge, every obstacle became a step in your unstoppable rise. The more they tried to silence your light, the brighter it burned, for your power was never dependent on them, it has always come from within you. Their attempts to manipulate, control, or silence your truth only highlighted your resilience. What they fail to understand is that your light cannot be taken, it is the essence of who you are. And as you continue to rise, their efforts to weaken you only amplify your brilliance. The more they resist you, the more your authenticity shines through, proving to the world that no one who stands fully in their purpose can ever be stopped. At this point, their manipulations no longer have power over you. You have broken free from their grasp, and your rise is undeniable. They can no longer deny the power and truth you embody, and though they may still try to resist, it is clear that your ascension cannot be undone. You are walking a path that cannot be derailed, no matter what they do. A time will come when those who once hurt you will seek your forgiveness. As you rise in power and truth, they may begin to see the errors of their ways. Those who tried to break you may now be drawn to your strength, seeking reconciliation for the harm they caused. This shift in perspective comes not because you changed, but because your rise revealed to them what they lost when they tried to hold you down. What they didn't realize then was that every attempt to wound you only made you stronger. The pain you endured became the fire that forged your resilience, and now you stand taller and more powerful than ever before. Their efforts to weaken you ultimately contributed to your growth, and now you have risen far beyond the reach of their actions. As you look toward your ascending future, you no longer feel the need to dwell on their choices. You've left the pain behind, released the need for validation or revenge. Instead, you focus on what lies ahead, your path, your purpose, and your continued rise. The wounds they once caused have become scars of strength, and you are free to move forward, unburdened by their past mistakes.